here. Again, I'm not super honed in on anything right now. AMTX is a possibility for a scalp. The high is 60, so, you know, over 60, but right now I'm just watching it. I don't do as well on these lower price ones. So selling off a little bit. So the high day right now on AMTX is 57. Now, if this had been a $6 stock, I almost definitely would have bought it right here. But being a little cheaper, holding tight. 10,000 share seller at 58. 20,000 share seller at 59. So, you know, I could have jumped on it there. I would have gotten 10 cents of profit. Let me just see if it holds these levels. I just don't have the highest expectation. So the high day here is 69. There's 70. Lots of buyers at 70, but a hidden seller, not letting it break that level. 10,000 share seller now at 70, up 91%. Nice, son. Good job. 540 bucks. I mean, that's great for 2 minutes of work. So I'm going to put an order at 72 and just kind of see what it does up in this area if it holds this level. Breaking back down below a day. So that is kind of it for now on AMTX. I could have been more aggressive here jumping in. Knowing my statistics, I don't trade as well in these lower price stocks. You know, I was a bit more cautious. The RPO popping up there, 31 by 33, 30 by 36. So this was a little 1 minute opening range breakout at 25. Up to 36 there. High is $0.50, 8.50. There's 50. No, AMTX, no borrows available at light speed. Nothing has hit the scanner so far that is low float. The RPO didn't hit the scanner. The relative volume is still too light. The high is 50, 850. OVID, Not really sure just yet on it.
Alright guys, no trades yet. I'm still sitting here. Still watching the market. See what up did it. There's not really anything that's tradable at the moment. As kind of expected. Quick moves out there.
Yeah, that $0.50 spot to keep an eye on the RPO. Because it hasn't hit the high day Momo scanner, I'm just kind of waiting on it for a little more confirmation. I could have jumped in here and that would have worked for 20 cents, but I just hesitated a little bit. I don't really think it was A quality because the daily setup is not giving us confirmation until it breaks 910, so I think that was a little higher risk in any case. Matthias, you wouldn't have an issue if it skips. If it's squeezed up really fast, it wouldn't really cause an issue. You would get filled pretty much as the same. You might end up filling on the bid, but it wouldn't be too big of a deal. You would get a margin call if you didn't have the funds available to sustain the position.
Sure.
Yeah, I can see that setup. No full listed in trade ideas.
Stay tight. I don't see anything for me. I'm just gonna watch the market here.
Keep an eye on it. It's a decent move from 330 up to 395. BLIN. BLIN looks like it's going to get halted. I'm going to take a starter of BLIN, try to scalp it going into this halt. This one, recent reverse split, hitting the high day Momo scanner with a low float, very similar to ABIO. So I'm going to put an order on this one, probably, I'll put an order at $7 to scalp coming out of the halt. That one was hotkeys. Had to be fast. Boom, boom, jumped in, boom, 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 boom. Only got partial fills at 34. 1,000 shares out of a 3,000 share order, and another one is 1,821 shares out of a 3,000 share order. So, just punching the orders, getting partial fills, but that's okay. On this one, I'm going to try to be a little aggressive and see if we get a move up towards at least 8. I want to see a break of probably $8 for this to really open up. Yeah, the sim might be a couple cents higher with an offset. So let's look at ABIO for a second. Remember, ABIO float is almost the exact same as BLIN. A similar stock that as soon as I pulled it up, I saw recent reverse split. Recent reverse split. It starts to pop up. That was right around like $6. Squeezed up to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. Ended up giving us this, really big move. So that's kind of like when I see a stock hit the scanner and it looks similar to a recent former runner, I'm always that much more aggressive about jumping on it fast. So coming out of the halt, I'll put an order at $7. Try to scalp coming out of the halt. I don't think that that's unrealistic. And then a potential scalp from 7 up towards 750. Possible halt, up somewhere around 8. And we'll see if we get 2 halts in a row. ABIO. Yeah, so this one, might give a little red to green move, but it really kind of, I think I'm not sure. The daily chart's a little tough. I think BLIN will probably be easier. It's up 20% right now. Yeah, I mean, ABIO could do a red to green move. I guess that's true. An eye on it. Kind of bouncing off the 200. BLIN is more affordable, that's for sure. Resumption on BLIN will be at 9:45. If it's a 5-minute long call-up.
Hay 51.
So the high on ABIO there was 1090. So see if it does a 1-minute pullback under 1090. Put an order around 11. So BLIN, I'm going to do the same thing I always do coming out of a halt. I'm going to see where it opens. If it opens, high at 7 and immediately sells off, I'll look to try to scalp the dip, just like that. Buy that little dip, and then sell and it rips back up. Now, if it opens really high, so watching here for resumption. Looks like it's going to be a 10-minute long haul. So that's, that's fine. Just wait for resumption. Switch back to ABIO. ABIO high is 1090.
That's my challenge trade.
But it's got a 50-cent spread right now.
At any moment, this buy could really move more one way or the other.
So I can't trade with a spread that big. That's pretty much my issue with ABIO as well. Being above $10, the risk is a lot higher. CLRB has the 200 moving average at 364. It's got news this morning, but I think for right now, it's probably one I'll just wait on for a second. 4 million share float. BLIN, I could see potentially, the 200 is at $30, so it's got a lot of room. ABIO, we were looking at the 200 at $10, 947. That was our first resistance point. So yeah, so with circuit breaker halts like this, what I do is I look at the resumption. So let's say it resumes at 660 or something. And most likely what's going to do on resumption, sometimes they resume and they just squeeze right away, and then they go into another halt. Sometimes that happens. A lot of times what happens is they open and they sell off for a moment, and traders kind of watch. And then what I look for is basically green on the tape, and as soon as I start to see that green, I punch my order to buy. I look for a break through high of day and a surge up, and then because it dipped, now from here to here, if that's 10%, it'll get halted again going up. So that dip, when they just go straight, it's a little harder to, maybe I can add some size, but I can't be nearly as aggressive as when, we get a nice little dip in that surge. So resumption is about 2.5 minutes on BLIN. No, I'm not really concerned about the volume. It's very similar to ABIO. What I look at is the rate of change. It's up 20%. It's got the rate of change. It's got a very low float, similar to ABIO. It's a recent reverse split. So that is what makes me feel fine about it. AMTX, yeah, with this one, you're just not dealing with a lot of range. IDRA is a 22 million share float. AMTX projection at that level, no surprise there really. Yeah, so I have an order. I'm going to try to scalp this coming out of the halt. I'll put my order at $7. We'll see where it opens. If it opens around 7, then that's going to put it in a good position because then it's going to instantly be, more like 40% on the day. So my target would be to try to add for a move. If it opens at 7, my next target would be $7.50 or $8. If it opens at $6.50, my first target would be, let's see if it breaks $6.75 and goes up to 7. So I have an order right now at try to add coming out of the halt. So resumption in about 5 seconds here. So waiting for resumption.
There you go.
So watching. So just added there for the break of 7:10, and added again. Trying to scalp this over 750. We've got a high right now of 748, and it looks like 748 is where we'll get a second circuit breaker halt. So watching 748 for the next halt going up. Holding 3,116 shares into this second halt going up, and now it's up 40% on the
Oh,
day.
wow.
So this gave a little opportunity to add. I added it 7:01 and 7:31.
Should fix it.
And I got partial fills on both of those orders, but I was able to add some size. So, the next target would be at least 8, maybe 850.
Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Honest with you.
I always try, my approach is to buy high, sell higher. So, I just don't really worry that much about adding when it's high, when I have a starter, down at 634. The way it dipped down for a second and then started to surge up, I just, to me, looked at it and really thought it was going to go into a second halt. So yeah, now I'm holding 3,016 shares into the second halt going up. I generally don't add coming out of a second halt. RBZ was one of the ones that, kind of made me change my school of thought on that a little bit. But let's see what this does coming out of the second halt. If it goes into a third halt above 8, or 850, that would obviously be pretty incredible. I don't want to say it's impossible because you just never know. But right now, until the stock probably gives a clean 1 minute pullback, I probably wouldn't be able to add again. I think the safest place to add on this was right there. Average cost is my average cost. So if I buy 3,000 shares at 6 and 3,000 at 7, then I've got 6,000 at 650. And of course, I bought it high. No doubt, buying it at 630 was buying high, but in this case, buying high, selling higher is still a strategy. So I'll put an order maybe for 1,000 shares at 8, but it would be a scalp of 8. So I'd be buying around 790 and selling around 810, 820. It's not a position where I would be able to just sit and hold from that high entry if I get in that high. No doubt about it, we will be watching this for 5-minute setup, so there's no reason to give into FOMO and be super aggressive if you don't already have a profit cushion on this stock. It's just going to be about waiting for that next opportunity to establish a low-risk entry point. If this is truly a strong stock like ABIO, we will get a 1 minute pullback. And then we will get a 5 minute pullback. And right now, we're just dealing with micro pullbacks on like the 10-second chart, which is fine. I mean, that's sometimes the only way to get into these stocks are moving quickly. But just don't feel that you need to chase it. Got to wait for a good quality entry point. You know, a starter here and then add there makes sense. You know, adding something out of the second halt is just always going to be risky. So if you've got profit cushion, it's fine. But all right, so I have an order here at $8. Watching for resumption, which should be in just a couple seconds. So the high is 748. Looks like it's going to be another 10-minute long haul. One of the things to note is often I've found that 10-minute long halts open higher. 5-minute long halts a lot of times are kind of more flat open or even low open. The 10-minute ones often give us a bigger gap. And I mean, that was a nice gap from 30, that was a 50-cent gap, almost a 10% gap just on the resumption. Years high is 538. Daily level is 650. You can see traders are jumping on that, probably on kind of sympathy if they miss BLIN. I'm going to wait a second just because when you have a reverse split stock that, you know, had a day like this where it popped up and then didn't result in a big breakout like ABIO, I'm a little careful going at it the second and third and fourth times because you sort of seem to get less and less volume. People kind of give up on it. Yep, SLGG popping up there, but yeah, the spread is bigger, the volume is light. It's only up 1% on the day. It is hitting a scanner, but it doesn't have quite the rate of change that I think I'd be looking for. 850 is the daily breakout spot right now, but 976 is maybe a bigger trigger.
Happier.
About 2 minutes to resumption on BLIN. Yeah, no shares to short. Right on my daily chart on eSignal. Right there. One of the first things I look at when I pull up a stock, mostly because I'm just looking at the daily chart, but then if I see it's a reverse split, of course I notice that, recognize that that's a very strong indicator for the recent reverse split squeeze, which we talked about in the day trade course. So market's down 300 points, but we're seeing momentum, you know, in small caps. About a minute on resumption. No, yeah, it's never 7 minutes. It's always 5-minute increments. And this was halted at 9:50 and 37 seconds. So resumption should be almost exactly 1 minute away. SLGG 39 by 50, you know, moving a little bit higher. I think that maybe this one isn't attracting as much attention just because it's not a familiar name, it's not a former runner, it's not a stock that a lot of people know about. The scanner's catching it, but, you know, people just might not be seeing it quite yet. Alright, so, halt was at 748. I have an order at $8 to try to scalp coming out of the halt. I would just be adding 1,000 shares, not crazy aggressive. But I'll be looking at scalp over 8. Watching for resumption here. Watching. Watching over 8. So the high is 8. So I'm looking for where I can punch the order to buy this dip. Right now it's dipping a little more than I'd like because it's filling that gap. So I'm still holding 754 shares. It looks like I'm going to be holding them into this halt going down. I was hoping to scalp right in this area, but I just didn't get a chance to do it. And you know, I almost pressed it, and I was like, wait a second.
Wow.
You know, it opened, ripped right to 8, and it's now coming down. So what this is going to do, you know, it's going to end up forming a pullback here. This is essentially a 1-minute pullback that's through circuit breaker halts. So I tried to sell there at 720, but I didn't get filled, so I'm still holding 750 shares into this third halt. But I hope some of you guys were able to make money on this, at least from this move here up through this one here. So really on this stock, I would say, you know, as long as it probably holds 650, I'm kind of okay with, you know, this consolidation. If it breaks below 650 and goes back down to like $6.25, $6, that would be disappointing. Nice job, guys. Good work. So I'll watch this coming out of the halt. Halted at 10:01. Resumption should be around 10:06.
All right, guys. So it's 10 o'clock. You know, there's not a ton of action to speak of. So I'm going to probably sit tight here for the time being. I just don't see any trades that are lining up for me at this point. Later into the morning or even afternoon, I wouldn't be surprised if we see this market kind of drift back in. So I will keep that on watch, but
ask, I'll just switch and hit the bid. I'm usually pretty quick to do that.
And this is normal for these big gaps like this to be relatively choppy. JD, there's nothing really there that I see. Made one initial reaction move and that was it. And again, all this stuff is market related. So until you have a kind of an identifiable trend going on, it's going to make it really difficult to trade this stuff because it'll be just chopping around. So that's why
resumption
gaps in the market. It's almost a bit discouraging.
Right now,
I'd much rather the market open up flat and start to trend one way or the other.
Kind of keep holding back over 750 would be the first one to make a new high. So I'm going to watch this for a 1 minute pullback because it's possible
against the pivot
that it gives us that 1 minute pullback and goes ahead and makes it move back up to $8. If it does, the few people who maybe had shares available to short in this area are going to have to trade it out. So, I'm just going to watch this here. Stop is going to be 625 or something like that.
So I'll be sitting tight. Nothing.
So I'll click another 10-minute on halt. So John's entry 733. Got in high, a little on the high side, sold higher, $1,000 of profit. I mean, that's great.
José Luis Martínez Almeida la tiene y creo que la puede sacar. Ortega Smith.
No, porque tengo mi propia bicicleta, entonces no la saco.
Manuela Carmena tiene tarjeta de bici. Tengo la de candidatos que aspiran a convertirse en alcalde o alcalde.
En los últimos años se ha apostado por lo contrario, a favorecer un mercado de la vivienda que sea asequible a todos los madrileños. Y lo han hecho, entre otras cosas, paralizando los grandes proyectos que teníamos. Teníamos 3 grandes proyectos, la operación Campamento, la operación Chamartín. Por ejemplo, la operación Chamartín, que había previstas 17.000 viviendas y la han dejado en 10.500. O la operación Sureste, 104.000 viviendas que han quedado en un proyecto de 51.000. Evidentemente, si se estrangula la posibilidad de creación de construcción de nuevas viviendas, lo que se hace es que se reduce el mercado. Si se reduce el mercado, se produce especulación, se produce aumento de precios. Y además no se apuesta para nada en la ayuda a la vivienda social. En las campañas se les llena la boca hablando de vivienda social y llega la hora de la verdad y las viviendas sociales se quedan en el tintero. En los últimos años se ha apostado por lo contrario, a favorecer un mercado de la vivienda que sea a derogar el Madrid Central. El Madrid Central es una auténtica barbaridad que lamentablemente ya puso el ministro en la época del Partido Popular de Gallardo, lo siguió Ana Botella y lo recogió con mucho cariño la alcaldesa Carolina. Y es una barbaridad porque es el Madrid de los ricos que pueda comprar es el Madrid contra es el Madrid que no ha reducido la contaminación. Luchar contra la contaminación creo que estaremos todos de acuerdo, pero se lucha con términos globales, se lucha apostando por reducir las calderas de carbón, se lucha por renovar la y de María y de Juan.
That's interesting, Ken. I'm going short. Yeah. I wonder why the first order didn't go through, but yeah, hitting the cancel button faster will help. LULD is limit up, limit down. That's when stocks are going to get halted.
I think I'm pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys saw there on XKIN or KXIN, but I was looking at something else at the time. Yep, escape button cancels orders. At least it does for mine. It should for yours too.
open spider.
Nice, Rob. Good job, man. That's great. Oh, well, I think that it depends on where this base is at. You know, if it goes into a second halt going down, that's not going to be good. But I wouldn't surprise me if it gaps down maybe towards 650. Let's see where it resumes here. But back over 750, I like it. So 750 is the spot where, you know, I would be interested. So right now, we're just in range. So there's not really any reason for me to sell it right now because it's just in range. The low of this candle was 642. So what I would look for would be the first 5-minute candle to make a new high. You know, so I'm kind of just going to wait and watch it for a second. High of this candle is 7. So right now, over 7 is the first 1-minute candle to make a new high. That is a valid setup. So over 7 is on watch. So I'm in there. I just added for a break of $7. I'm trying to scalp the break of 7, knowing that, you know, if this thing ends up squeezing up to 750, 780, it's got a good chance of retesting high a day. So now over 725 is the next spot I'd consider adding. Just added there for the break of 725. So, you know, I'm being a little aggressive, but on this one, I think it makes sense to do it. So my cost basis is 706. There's 723 on the ask. Want to see a break over 725. $715, $726. Now it kind of looks to me like it needs a little bit of a 1-minute micro pullback. I probably wouldn't have taken this 1-minute pullback if I didn't already have a profit cushion, but, you know, this is how you turn a base hit into, you know, a double or a triple. You've got a profit cushion, and then you take a little bit of risk. On a stock that's up 30% on the day. So the high here is 34. So I'm going to let this base out for a second. We'll see if we get a cleaner pullback. And then see if I can get my next entry for a scalp back up towards 750. So, you know, right now I'm still holding 450 shares. Get flush there for a second. So the high is 34, so I put an order at 33 to add and go order there. Okay, so 33 is where I would add for the break over 34. Watching the level 2. 12 by 18. Just added there for the break over 34.
And it doesn't.
Trying to quickly scalp that move up to the $0.50. So my new cost basis is 23 over 45. I might add again for the break of the $0.50. You can see this 1 minute setup is looking pretty decent. See how it's opening up here. $38 on the ask. Now if this breaks over the $0.50, goes up to 60 to 70, that's where, you know, I'm thinking we might get a retest of $8. So we know the high day is 8. It's curling up. The high of this move here was 761. So over 761, 775, 780, 790 certainly is where I'd start to get a little more aggressive. Might need a little moment of consolidation here, which is okay. 723 is still my average. Watching. So we've got a small little doji there with a high of 61. There's 60 on the ask. 64. So the new high a day now is 65. I'm going to add here. And what I'm thinking is that we're now going to get a test of $8. So watch this over 8. I'm going to add again at 95. Looking for the break of $8 on this. There we go. Sold almost all of it at $8. 801, 806, 804. So on that, I added 12,000 shares at 65 and was selling at 8. So that's going to put me up $15,000 on the day. I did really well on this one buying this dip coming out of the hull. Right through there from $6.50 back up to $8. And I held a core position from the very beginning right here. So that was also a fairly long trade from 9:39 until 10:19. It's going to be the total time of the trade from when I took my first position until I went down to 0 shares. So that would put me up about 36,000 on the month, which is great, 4 days in. Nice, Selena, good job. $4,000, great day. No, I'm not putting out orders in advance. I just, you know, as I see the setup, I take a trade. So I'm glad to see this broke back through the highs, but a little disappointed that it didn't hold this level as well. So right now, it's going to need a period of quite a longer period of consolidation in order for it to sort of, I don't know, become a better looking setup.
$78. Haber comprado. Ay, ya está.
So that was a first 5 minute candle to make a new high. You can see how some people jumped on from 750 there up to 766. You know, I would keep it on watch because if it did break over 8, and it got halted going up, I think that would be significant. So I'd probably just leave an order at $8 on it. The reverse split was just the other day. It was on May. Watching here, hang on. Watch for a breakback over 8. Taking a quick scout on a breakthrough 8 with a target of maybe 825, maybe 850. Not quite ready yet. The high there was 790. Just added for the break of $8. Trying to do a quick scout. There's 805. There's 820. Sold half. So the new high today is 832. Back over 825. Just added for the break of 830. I'm thinking if this goes into a circuit breaker halt, we might see a move up to $9. So I'm trying to add here into this halt. We'll scalp this up towards $9. So 9 is the target. I'll almost definitely add coming out of this halt. I'm going to put an order at $9. There, for me, is no reason not to try to be aggressive. This is a 5-minute setup, starting to open up. 9, potentially 10. It, to me, looks still really good. This is high day volume on the breakout, which is what we want to see.
Ovid.
I was a little nervous there. I added at 79 and 89, and then it looked like I kind of thought maybe we were going to double top and fail, so I ended up selling 75% of my position at 799 for only like $700 profit, and then I got back in at 718 and 720 as it pulled back and moved back up. Over that level, giving me confirmation. So I would have done better if I'd held my whole position from 89, but I got out and then basically added that. That'd be a 5-minute long halt or a 10-minute. This one I could see either way. I see maybe a higher likelihood of this being a 5-minute long halt, but either way I can see. First target really is $9. I don't think we'll get 10% gap where it opens at 9. I think it's probably going to open somewhere in the 60s or 70s, and I'll try to add for a squeeze up to 9. And hey, if it goes to 9.2930, and really moves up, that's awesome. Remember, you know, people who are short, not that a lot of people had shares, but breaking over the highs is where they get squeezed out. So you have people, as it breaks over 808 here, not just buying to scalp it to the long side, but also, you know, covering short positions as they're starting to get squeezed. So, you know, we probably will get continuation of a little short squeeze coming out of this haul. I have 6,000 shares right now, so I'm feeling good on that. I'll have no issue adding to 9,000. Going up to 12,000, I would do if we open and get really close to $9, because then I'll have 12,000 shares with a cost basis of like $8.55. You know, I'll have such a good average that if it rips to $9.50, just like that, I could add another $12,000 of profit. So watching, you know, to see how aggressive I can be on it. If it's going to do a real short squeeze, if it's really going to take off, I want to try to capitalize on this. Remember, on Friday, you know, I only made $160. So Friday, the market was slow. Today, we've got one stock that's high. Last week, we had ABI up. That was one stock that was high. And on that one, I was able to do really well. On this one, you know, I'm doing quite well. Nice, Chris. That's a terrific entry. No doubt about it. So my order's at $9. Try to add coming out of the haul. I would expect at least to squeeze up to 9. Resumption in about 15 seconds. So watching here for resumption. Just added there. Added with a target of 9. I'm up $19,244. We got almost a tap of 9, not quite. The high was 69, so over 6. Just added there. If we break a 69, there's 7. See, this is interesting because we're kind of flashing around here. There's 69 on the ask. So I'm really looking for that break of 75. Now I'm stopped out, so gave back a little bit of profit on that. The high was 90. My high was 19,000. The high there was 870. And now we're getting this kind of drop. High of this current candle is 829. I'm going to put an order at 850. I want to try to scalp a break of 9. Yeah, I stopped out using hotkeys. High of this current candle is 59. So watching this 1 minute micro pullback. Just added there for the break over 9. Up in the, watch the 90s, watch 890. So seeing still that volatility, 890 is the spot that I really want to see break. I'm going to put an order out at 85. $8.75 for an ad. The longer it holds up here, the better and stronger it looks for a break over $9. I think probably 75, 875 is a spot to watch. $59 on the ask. There's 70. Watch for the break of 75. Stopped out. Leave me up $16,267. So, you know, I came back a little bit, about 3,000. I was up 19,500, 400, but I had one trade right in here where I added at 59 and then immediately stopped out at like 812. So I got a kind of big drop there. Lost about 1,500 almost immediately. High is 883. Just leave an order at $9, but only really added an extra $1,200 through that breakout. So I was hoping to add more than that. But. Well, I think now we have a red doji on the 5-minute with fairly high red volume. This could close as a green doji. We still have about a minute left on it. The low of the pullback was 767. The high was 83, so a decent amount of range there. The thing on this, I think that really kind of messed it up was that the halt was at 837. And it opened at 838. So it basically opened flat coming out of the halt. You know, it dropped, it surged up to 870, but then it dropped back down to 786, and then, you know, this is where I ended up getting chopped out.